I will be discussing on the few of the other things, like different posting procedures. That day we have unable to do that, so I will be showing you those things, and then we'll be discussing on how to change post a document, how to reverse journal entries, how to hold and verify journal entries, how manual cleaning of document works, and then how to perform reporting, and some concepts of parallel accounting for external accounting, so and explaining certain concepts of cost sales reporting also I'll be covered as part of this. Additional to that, the other two topics which were there, the legal and compliance, that is only like on a open discussion. I'll just show you, because compliance and reporting is how you have to do compliance reporting, how the statutory reporting will be there. So I will show you that. So coming back here, as I said, in the configuration, when you go to the configuration, if you go to the accounting, the general ledger, see, you have this chart of accounts, right? So generally, any chart of account, many of you are asking, once we create a org structure, once you create, in the org structure, I have shown you how to get org structure, right? So once we create the org structure, once you create company code, plant, division, whatever the distribution channels, all this stuff, when you create, our finance part starts with, like the chart of account, right? And I said controlling area is already fixed. You don't need to change it, okay? So then here, the chart of account, when you want to create, generally we will go here and we will generally go and manage the chart of accounts. In this part, we generally create. But if you can see here, this particular path is completely locked. It's completely faded. Okay. Why this is faded means because SAP have not given access to the complete configuration channel to us. So when we have discussed it, we have raised a ticket and they are working on it. I raised a very high priority ticket, which should be resolved in hours. But yes, we are continuously following with them. So once this is open, I can show you the chart of accounts creation, and I can show you how the chart of accounts and company codes be linked, right? So that can be traveled to this particular developer domain. Okay. So the whole flow is, the moment when you create a chart of account, the moment when you create company code, when the moment you link with certain GL accounts, those will start, appearing in your development portal, wherein which you will start using that. So till now, what we are doing, we are just trying with the existing ones. Even the existing ones also, last week the data is not relevant and it was not posted properly. This one only I'm parking for now because SAP is working on it. Again, telling that. Okay. So once that is done, I'll show you that linkage. So before that, I'll continue with my sessions. So if you can see here, we have managed document and reporting compliance is there. So this one I will be majorly discussing on that, because on which when you post some documents, when you make some reporting compliance, right? So how you run this, what actually the documents that you require, what compliance actions you make, all these things I'll discuss on this compliance part. This is managed document reporting compliance. So this one I will discuss you basically on the compliance part. So here, as I said, on the stationery, we'll define the stationery reports. We'll see how to run the stationery reports, and we also see certain US general ledger reporting stationery reports also. So these things we will discuss mainly on the stationery reports on the public cloud side. So these are the things which we can discuss on compliance and stationery. We have discussed about the different journal entry types and financial document numbering, guys. And I have already explained you the importance of journal entry type and importance of control elements, right? So because every day hundreds of financial documents are creating in a company or in your organization or a client where you work, because then and the auditors generally prefer that all documents are stored or like in a different categories according to the business transactions, right? Like credit memos, vendor invoices, authorized expenses, blah blah blah. So many things will be there. So there in which we have to achieve certain things as an unique journal entry type, that we have to make certain specific business process on top of that. So keeping the mind of the accountants and the responsibilities also, we have to make the original documents to get into the journal entry different types, like customer payments, based on the types that we want to make it, right? So we'll make it out. So as I said earlier, we'll be having different types and different things are there with general entity. Like we are using SA in our examples, right? Majorly, like a GL account document, which is SA. Like we have vendor invoices, customer credit memos. So different things are there in the documents. So let me show you that one of that screen also, where in which I can help you on that. So this is one such document, which it will exemplify that these are the different general documents are there, wherein which we have this customer invoices, customer credit memos, customer payments, account postings, and you can see vendor invoices, credit memos, vendor payments, vendor invoices. So these are all what? These are the different categories of journal entry types that we generally go and see in our regular journal entry postings. Okay. So let me show you the last day. Then when we are trying to make general engine posting, we are unable to do, right. So I have checked with on that, and it's okay with certain types of journal entries in which it is posting documents on that. So let me show you the posting the journal entry documents. So when you go to here, post general journal entries, right? If you guys remember the last day when I have used it, so there are many mandatory fields are there. So this is the refreshed version of SAP, which they did it last week. Okay, after our ticket raisings on that. So let me check. Here for example, we have this one, which is third one, the gender entry date. So by default, anytime when you open the general entries, by default, the company code, the transaction currency, the posting date will come automatically. You don't need to pick up from your side. If it is a mandatory that you want to pick up from other company codes or other things, other currencies, you can always encourage to change that. Okay. But yes, by default, when you open this post general entries, these options will come automatically. Okay. So here in this part, we will be posting our journal entries, right? So these periods, ledger groups, references, header text, these are all not mandatory. So whenever there is a need of these things are there, then only you have to provide that. Okay. And you have seen that, right? Or by default, I told you SAV is our general entity type, which is GL account. Okay. So now here, when you go to the line items, generally we go to the line items. So here, when you go and check with this ones, you go down. Let's say I'm taking this one. Okay, I'm putting some amount, 120. And again, facing this one.
Question is, what is the classification of the GL account use, Kay? Because in actual, we have this balance sheet account that is 1, 2, and 3 series, and then we have P&L accounts. So this GL, we just want to know what is the classification.
Right. So on GL account, we have different types are there, as you understand, right? So you have balance sheet account, an account to which the postings from your business will be made. And we have a non-operating expense and income account will be there, which is one on which your income statements, to which the record, it will generally records all the expenses and gains from different activities, which are your not part of your main company's thing, like your realized gains, financial investments of the company. All these things will go under your non-operating expense income accounts. In the same way, you have one more thing called primary costs or revenue type in GL account, wherein which you put all the income statement accounts, that relates to your primary costs, like say your payroll, your selling expenses, your admin costs. So these things are under your primary cost. And there is one more type in GL account type, which is called your secondary cost. So income statements, all those that comes under from other than primary are there. Those are all come under secondary costs, like say your overhead allocations, your settlements, your costs, your organizational variables. So these things will come under as part of your other secondary costs. So this is your GL account types. Clear?
So with what GL account is this? P&L under primary, P&L under secondary. What is the specific classification? Okay, because you have mentioned a while ago the reason why you're going to discuss the presentation of the financial reporting at the latter end because of the discussion that you're going to discuss for GL, customer and vendor. So for this transaction, so to classify as balance sheet and income statement, just wanted to clarify what specific GL accounts are we using for this transaction?
For P&L account, you're asking?
No, I'm asking what specific GL account is this 9888? Because this is new to us.
Okay. This is new too, but I'm just taking, considering, because these are the two accounts which are enabling me to post. This is nothing but your clearing account, margin clearing account. This is a consultancy clearing account. These two are. Okay. Why I'm using these here right now in the system scenarios? Because these are the two accounts in which I'm able to post certain journal entries right now. So that's considered as part of the demo scenario. For testing scenario, I just taken these accounts. There is no other specific cause why I selected these ones.
So basically, it will not flow to the financial statements that we're going to create.
These will flow when you are when we are taking the banking things, right, for clearing the accounts of the margins and consultancy accounts, right? So then that time you can take these two accounts. Yeah.
As what classification in financial statement?
You mean these two accounts you're asking specifically, or are you generally asking financial
Yes,
statement?
I'm asking this specific three. As I mentioned, the rest of us, this is new to us, these GL accounts.
Okay, these two accounts are new to you. Okay.
So we don't know whether it is part of the balance sheet or the income statement. I just want to.
Okay, these clearing margins are generally your financial safeguards, right? So whenever you go for customers' contracts and all these things, so this comes under balance sheet also. When I say balance sheet, because when you make certain contracts and those contracts are under and review, or when they are paying something to you, or on the income statement also of the balance sheet you have to maintain. So this definitely comes, but it's a temporary account. This particular clearing account, what I'm saying is, this is a temporary account where it holds certain transactions that are to your final account. So wherein which it is a part of balance sheet, but as a temporary account. That is the straight answer to you. Because this will appear either an asset or a liability depending on the nature of transaction you are doing. For example, you're doing for clearing the account margin for margins, and for you're doing clearing accounts for consultancies. These two are what temporary. So once you clear that, it will be done. But you have to show in the financial statement that this is clear to certain consultancy. This margin has been completed as part of liability or asset, whatever, depending on the transaction you have done that time. So this is a part of balance sheet.
Because I'm looking at the series of the GL accounts above. So these are P&L. But anyway, yeah,
Yeah, these are P&L. This one's saying this is a general ledger. Generally does not belong to balance sheet, but as a temporary part, it might occur into it whenever you have the transactions on top of that. But no permanent role for these two accounts. I am just using these two accounts only for our demo purpose for now. Okay, because all other things are, for now that a configuration is not stable, they are actually not making to allow. So I just checked these two accounts and they are able to post it. So I have posted this. See, the document was posted successfully. So just display it here. So our journal entry is posted here. Okay. So so if you can understand this, guy. So when I have gone through this general accounts, or general entries, we have considered different categories earlier. Like we have petty gas, we have in-house banking. These are the major ones generally we do anytime when we go with journal entries, right? Because journal entry is what? It's a record of your business transaction, your FA, financial accounting. So these can representing your receipts, invoices, checks, bank statements, anything. Okay. So let's say, whatever I have done, I have just taken this clearing documents. Because the in-house bank accounts which I have to create are completely configuration based. When I'm trying with petty cash, I'm trying with in-house other cash transactions. This is asking in-house bank account. We tried creating it, but this actually is happening in our major configuration dependencies there. That is not allowing me for the chart of account that is newly have to create. So that is the reason I stopped that. So now when we go to this particular journal entry posting, so you have seen that any journal entry, we have this header and line items, right? So header is what? Header is nothing but this one is a part of our journal entry. It contains all that information that applies to your entry that you have made, like the date, the posting date, the information such as that entry type, the transaction currencies, the references, okay, who created, when created. So that is there in your header information. Okay. So whenever you want any header information, if you go to the journal entry in the entry view, you can see all that header information, which is like a metadata. When you go down to the line items here, you will have two line items. Okay. So one is your credit posting, one is your debit posting. Okay. So the entry of a journal entry in the system, it will be triggered by from where it was triggered by your transaction outside the finance, or you can create a journal entries manually in your GL accounting also, like we did right now. So whenever any billing document is created in sales, for example, relevant information for the journal entries is getting automatically passed to financial accounting. So you have to manually enter a journal entry. So when you want to manually enter certain journal entries, you must enter this basic account assignment data. Okay. So for now, this is a clearing accounts I have not entered. So last week you have seen that, right? We have entered company codes, we have entered controlling area, we have entered cost centers, we have tried pulling the invoice account. These are all called account assignments. So whenever you are taking the relevant general ledgers, for that you have to enter your relevant account assignments also, like tax codes, everything. Okay, I'll show you one more example. Even though the data is not there, I'll show you one more example how these tax assignments I have to do that. So so after the entry of this step, before the journal entry is recorded, is called your universe journal. So your financial accounting will enhance the journal entry with all the ledger specific information in this line item. So your line item will show you on which GL account, what profit center, what happened to your, what is your credit and what is your debit view. Okay. So if you go here to furthermore, for example, if you want to see this one, if you go here, okay, when you click it, we have these combinations, guys. You can, from this line item, you can display your balances, you can display your line entries, you can display your cost accounting, your production accounting, your master data, whatever is applicable to it. You don't need to, why this was given by SAP is, you don't need to switch for multiple apps here and there. For example, if you want to go back, in ECC, we might open another session and we might give some T code and we go to there and we use something. But here, because it is completely a public cloud, you cannot have that freeness to go to the second thing. Again, you have to go second tab, open this, do that, and have to do that. So it's not easy. So it's the reason SAP provided from here only. The moment when you go and click the GL account, you can see the relevant links or apps that are for this particular transaction you're doing. For example, if you want to see the GL account balances for this, so you can just simply click on the GL account balances. So it will take you to there on the GL account balances. Okay. So like this, you can go to the line item entry also. If you want to display the line item entries. Okay, you can see here the line item entries for the company code, GL accounts that we have posted now. These are the different line items. You can post n number of items, but for our demo, I just posted one single thing here. Okay, this is with clearing accounts I have shown you, but I'll promise you again, whenever our chart of account we are able to create, I'll show you one more with all the bank transactions also, where in which you'll get the clarity on that, because majority finance statements, we use the bank transactions and all these things. But yes, we have one more module is there, where in which banking and cash transactions. In that also, I cover this one. So no need to worry. For now, please understand this is a demo. So I just taken those two accounts. So now we have taken, and you can see this display line item entries, where in which you can see the status of clearing also. See, the status is a tick mark is there, which means it is cleared. Okay. So if it is not cleared, it will be open and we will clear it. That I'll show you anyways in the coming minutes. So like this, we will generally post the journal entries, okay, from our app relevant to it. Okay. So when we are posting this journal entry, certain times you have to change the posting date also, right? So wherein which you have to perform changes in an accounting document, or certain times you have to change your individual journal entries. If you are authorized, you can perform that manage journal entries also through your manage journal entries app. So always there is an edit button that will be there in your journal entries app, wherein which you can provide your journal entry number there. You can go to the document header and provide the line items and do that. So let me show you how you can perform changes in an accounting document in SAP. Okay. So this is how you generally post your journal entries. So at any time when you want to manage your journal entries, guys, you have to go and manage your journal entry app. There is an app called Manage. It's very simple. Anything you want to retrieve from public cloud, just give its name. Okay, you don't need to worry about the searching of here and there for that. So, for example, if I want to go to journal, I don't know anything in this. If you can just go, you can say whatever related to journal, it will show you. Okay, but not all the menu, but only the relevant menu. So, if you go to the manage, you can get this one. There is new version, old version is there. So this old version is for the old version who are related to that old version, who are accustomed to it, who want to use it still. But new version is the one which was given by public cloud. This is also getting deactivated in the next few months. And then journal entry templates are also there, how you can actually put. So that I'll show you later. So let me show you this one. Journal entries manage new one. So in the manage journal entries, if you go here and see this, you can see there are two journal entries which were posted there, right? So in that, for example, whatever you want to manage, you can just go there, click on the journal entry. You can see that, see, manage journal entry. If you want old one, you can go there directly. Okay. Or as I showed you, you can go to the new version of journal entries, new version, and there is a display item in the journal entry. So these three are there. So wherein which, if you want to go any one single entry, just click on there. So I'm trying with this old one up for you here. So here, when you go to the GL account, if you have this edit option is there. So in the edit option, if you go here, you can see this GL account, right? The moment I clicked on it, then only it will come, guys. If you're not click on it, you won't get this GL account options. See here, going back again for your confirmation. The moment when you go to this here, go to the old version here, whatever it is. See, there are no GL accounts here. Nothing is showing. So after you go to edit option, now this came automatically. Okay. So you have to check it, which reference, which header text you want to add, those things, you have to modify. To change the reference field, you want to go to this edit mode. Okay. You can't edit something like master data, but only at transaction level. For example, if you want to change the edit text of a journal entry, you can change this one. If you want to change certain reference field, for example, here, like BKPPF is there. Okay. If you want to change certain reference fields, you can do that. Okay. So like here, let me add some header text here. Let's say, I'm just adding that and saving that here for journal entry, this one. In the same way, there is no reference, right? You can give the reference also. Let me add one more to them here, the reference also. This clearing document, right? So let's say clearing account for X company, or else clearing X company, you can write. So we added reference, we added certain text also on this, right? So we saved it also, right? So this is how you can generally add the references or header text, whatever you want as part of this journal entries also. Okay, and you can see if you go to here, you have certain things also in this line items. I'm just showing you detail here. If you go to this particular line item, click there. Okay, so this is on the new old version it is showing. The moment if you don't want old version, you can switch to new version also. So this is the new version. Okay, here there is a toggle button on top there where you can actually switch to old to new as per your convenience. Okay, guys. So if you go to the line item in detail, you can see posting key, the company codes, there are different fields are there in which you can see that, right? there are fields that can be modified and highlighted also. If you can actually see that, like all these things, whatever you want, you can add those things also here, wherever you want to add and put those individual informations also. And those things you can again save it. You can make a reversal also if you don't want. On the reversal, I'll show you now. But yes, this is one such way you can add your changes to the journal entries. Okay. Let's say, for example, I'm going here. Go to edit. So item text, assignments, these are all highlighting fields which you can actually give, and you can actually add the data in here. Okay. Then you can save that entries also. Okay. So this way you can add your general ledger accountings in this area, and you can modify the accounting related things whenever you want. Okay. So after creating journal entries for easy references, you can actually see the changes in journal entries also. So those things you can actually log from here. If you save here, save this. Item test assignment field. This is there. Then I'm going to back journeys. Okay, save this. Okay. And now the moment when you're completely saved everything on your changes, you can see this one, display changes is there. Okay. So this, if you can select, you can see the changes that we have done for the journal entry. Okay. So on today date, at this time, because in server level, see item text I have added, field name. This was the thing that we have gone with. Okay. So for the same journal entry, there was different things happened on top of that. So whatever the changes are there, it will record. See all these changes it happened on this date only, just now. Okay. So what are the tables that are affected? What are the field names that have been included in it? What are the texts that we have actually done? Who has changed that? So all these changes you can get from this display changes button. Okay. So that you can get what journal entry changes has been done on that. Okay. If you don't want any changes that you want to make it, you have to simply reverse it. Like say, for example, if you go to the reverse, you have to you can give the reason, because you cannot delete a journal entry posting, because I told you the other day, right? So any wrong entries that you have done, you cannot delete it. So, but you can reverse the posting by a reason for that, like this, like wrong posting, wrong period, wrong prices, return, auto reverse, and reverse asset account assignment change. So these are the different reasons by which on your situation based you have to post a reversal posting. Okay, so because normal reversal posting generates an inverse posting by like either you increase the debit or credit account balances, but negative posting on the other hand, it performs your inverse posting by resetting your account balances. So you can use all negative postings to avoid the unnecessary increase in your debit credit balances. Okay. This will increase the unnecessary confusions also, and to meet the customer requirement, sometimes it will be a problem for you also, because the principles of document reversals will be quite problematic for that. So your normal reversing posting generally in SAP S4HANA, it will post certain incorrect debit and credit or incorrect credit as debit also. The vice versa might happen in your original scenarios. Okay. So this type of postings always cause account balances figures, wherein which very drastical change will be there. There is a bulk volume of data on that particular GL account is getting posted, right? So always importantly, remember that negative posting also posts your incorrect debit as a credit or incorrect credit as a debit. This will happen majorly when you're doing your negative postings or other postings. So we have to avoid this one. To avoid this one, what is this? The reversal is there. So both the methods of journal entry reversal or the on the accounting perspective, this you have to use as your regular habits to make the auditors or certain country based financial conditions also to get into the inline. So you have to make this reversal postings on top of that. So this reversing a journal entry will ensure that this wrong is happened from our side, and this you cannot consider that. So based on that, you will ignore that. Based on the system will ignore that. If it is a wrong posting, you don't need to worry about that. So if it is a correct posting, system will consider that. Okay, even in case if anyone have seen unknowingly that has been posted, you can see the reversal of journal entry and the reasons also for that. Okay, that is why SAP has like brought this one in the reversal journal entries. We already did it in ECC, but here's in S4 HANA they have brought it in this way. Okay, so let's say how this reverse posting we do. For example, I am going here the wrong posting. The reason of reversal is wrong posting. I have selected that. See, the particular thing is now reversed. There are no changes on top of that. Okay, now the reverse is getting faded. So you have to again create, if you want to go edit, and you have to do the same things you can do. Then go to the display changes. See, the reversal is there. All these things are reversed. On the same date, whenever I posted, what I got all the reversals also. So like this, you can see your reversal status also while you have reversed your any journal entry. Okay. Now, how to hold your journal entries or how to verify your journal entries. Now we have seen how to post a journal entry. We have seen how to reverse a journal entry, right? And why we have to reverse journal entry also I have explained you. Okay. Now holding. So this holding means your reversal journey or your document generally, the holding document functionality in SAP S4 HANA, it allows to temporarily save the entered data uh, so that you can continue your data entry at your later point of time. That means certain things happened in your scenario, you want to hold the document. Okay, if you want to hold that, what happens the moment when you're not saving, it will generally go out. So you have to do all these things again. So for that purpose, you have to hold it. To hold that particular thing, we use the hold document functionality. Okay, so documents that SAP S4 HANA application holds do not have to be completed. So the account balances are not updated in the whole documents. The data of this whole document is not available for evaluation also. Remember that. Okay, now let me explain the principle of these holding documents. So what is this principle of holding document means? As part of the SAP S4 HANA apps or applications, uh, that does not assign any document number to the whole documents. Okay, so user making the data entries will be prompted to manually name the document after selecting the whole document function. Whenever you go for the whole document, this happens. I'll show you now. Okay, but let me explain it before I show you. So the user, who will be the user, it might be, they can find the document under particular name on which they're holding in a later point of time. From there, they can pick it up. So user can complete, post, or delete this whole document at later point at any time. Okay. But remember, guys, there is a risk of forgetting the whole documents and not posting them completely. If someone is holding that, they might forget that in a point of time and they might not completely also. So the hold journal entry numbers will be automatically in that game replaced by your standard numbers which were generated by SAP whenever the postings are done for that. Okay, so remember that there is one such risk. I'll just show you now. So these whole journal entries are, you might be asking where I can see. These are visible to the user that created by them. They are not intended for triggering of any approval workflows. So the function to hold these journal entries is through your posting your general journal entries app only it can be happened. So now you have to understand that holding journal entry functionality to a user group also, it facilitates the daily work easily. If there is any certain holdings are there. Okay, so there are certain principles of accounting document verifications and things are there wherein which I'll explain you now. These are the things which you have to understand as part of your journal entry verification also. Okay, so before that, let me show you how we can hold a journal entry. Okay. Okay. let's say you are posting a journal entry. Now you are urgently called to a certain meeting, or your production support issue is there, you have gone. So you have to quickly save the journal entry that you're working on, though it is neither finished nor balanced, to use that fold function. This is one such demo scenario I just want to show you. Okay. So for that, what we will be doing this, we have to hold that, right? So now go to this post journal entries app, post general journal entries app, or you can get from your list of recently viewed items also, guys. Enter your date here. Okay, I'll take the same accounts for now for the demo scenario. As I said, I'll show you those dependent ones on the tags also once this is done. Let me be clear on that for you. Okay, so what I did, I selected the journal entries, date, I selected the GL account, okay, relevant for it, whatever the relevance is there. I selected certain debit amounts, and then my meeting has been started. So or else I got some issue. The moment I'm getting posted, I'm just checking this and I am posting that, right? Now what here, if you can see here down, see here, there is a hold journal entries there. This is what I'm saying. So you don't need to post, you can just hold this journal entry. So this is save. So it will ask you, I told you, right? It will ask you without posting what you have to be done. Okay, let's say you can write something that makes sense for you. There is no mandatory items that you have to push it here, that I have to do this, you have to do that. Simply write something, you know, your meeting sometimes, or your production issue or something, and simply say okay. Collect later. Okay, simply say okay. So the document has been saved without posting. You can see this here. Okay, so this is one such thing. If you go back, you have to retrieve and you can choose that posting also, right? The moment when you see this app, okay, on your particular date or view, you can just see that view also. So how you have hold it, where you have to see, if you go to the same hold journal entries, you can see, so your view is there. In the view, if you open, you can see your stagnated ones here. See the issue one, collect later. There, right? Someone has already done on 2/9. This one, I don't know who did it, but like this, you can actually keep your holded ones. You can just say open. If you don't want, for example, you realize that that is not required now, you can delete that also. Okay, so you just open that and take from there for the posting. This is how you hold your journal entries like this. See, the document was posted. Okay, this is how you can hold your journal entries for your different work purposes, wherein which you can use that. But remember that there are some principles after the journal entries. You have to remember certain document verification principles are also there, which is very important. I want to discuss with you now. Okay. Generally, when we discuss or make any certain meetings with the internal audit departments, any of your team might find out certain internal procedures of global companies will have, or your company requirements, or they require certain internal verifications through several levels of approvers. Will be there. Why? To ensure that the journal entries are error free and compliant. Okay, here I'm talking about certain compliance also, guys. Remember that. Okay, so this might result, because what I'm discussing is right now certain principles of your accounting document verifications. What are those principles? I'll tell you. Okay, so whatever I just told you right now, as part of the internal audit departments for your general journal entries, they should be regularly error free and compliant. Okay, so when they are error free and compliant, what happen? That will result in a productive financial documents. Okay, and that is also not whatever you have not done any mistakes on that. Okay, also that financial document is not immediately posted to accounting after its creation. This type of accounts, they must be submitted for approval, and they have to go under a validation workflow. Certain times what happens in certain organization journal entries and scenarios, they will post it for audit purposes also. I have seen that. It's not like that. It should not do that. So audit checks what? They will check for the approval and undergo validation workflows also. So all the designated users, who will be responsible for the validation of the document, they will get triggering of its posting to the accounting. So eventually, when they demand modifications to these documents before the validations and postings can be made, so anyone from your team who is responsible for that, who when they discover the possibilities of document validation, especially in S4 HANA, so they have to support this particular use cases, and they have to process the report accounting documents using the current functionalities. Okay, so SAP S4 HANA at this level, you have to verify the general ledger journal entries, which will enable the flexible operations and different processes, in which you have to go for different verifications and authorizations for your journal entry approvals. Okay, once your configuration and your business users in the accounting team, your authorizations, everything is in line with all the verification process, the users can start getting the notifications, which were generating by app. For example, now I did certain journal entry, so this will post it as I think someone has did this, like a thing will go to the approver. Okay, they can submit journal entry. So standard workflow to verify journal entries will be like this. I'm just explaining for you in a small diagram, because we have to understand the flow for that. Okay, people who are new to it, I'm just explaining to that. People who already know that, please excuse me, just for 2-3 minutes, I spend time on, which is very important. So here, I'm opening a document here, guys. So whatever I'm saying is the standard workflow for verifying your journal entries. So let me show you that. One second, my Word document is not opening yet. So here, this is the flow for your journal entries verification. Let me draw this. So this will be your starting point. Initially, requester creates a journal entry. Okay, this is part. Requester creating journal entry, right? So requester creating journal entry will be done initially. So the journal entry, when requester creates, what it will be? It will be having initial status. This is like this. This goes with initial status. Okay. Whenever the same requester submit the journal entry for approval, okay, same thing. If it is going in different mode like this, this is for creating, it's in initial status. Then requester has, after initial status, requester has to again raise the journal entry for, he has to submit that. He created, now it gone to initial status. Now requester will submit the journal entry. Okay, so this is for submitting, means this is for approval. Okay, then what happened? This particular journal entry status will be changed to initial status to submission status. Okay, so there is a arrow again for there. Okay, so then once he submit this, who will do it? The processor will see this, right? The processor will see the submitted journal entry in the inbox. Who have the processing rights are there, he will see that. So not everyone. So then the journal entry status can be, the status will be completely dependent on the processor action. So this will go to your processor. Okay, so for easy understanding, I'm writing in small diagrams. Okay, so now this processor journal entry will take the actions. Now what actions he will take? Either he will suspend it, either he will entry it for accepting, or either he will reject it. Okay, or he will ask for your re-evaluation. That means some problems will be there, or in your submissions of journal entries, or certain journal entries might not be properly created, so he might ask you for re-verification before that one also. So these are the different things. Okay, so I'm just writing in simple terms here, not deviating that one now. Either processor can create, sorry, can allow, approve, reject, and suspend. Okay, if the processor rejects the journal entry, okay, the status will be straightforward rejected. Okay, and requester has to edit it and submit again. Okay, if the same processor approve it, it will be go and flow more easily. If the processor suspend the journal entry, it is nothing but holding. It's giving a waiting status. Whatever, the moment you go for this suspend means he's not rejecting completely. Might be there are some changes where the requester has to submit this journal entry to it. Okay, so further, it is a given what I want to say, in a certain time, he has to schedule by the processor will give certain time, he will schedule to the requester. And then the journal entry is given submitted status again for the approval. Means this flow will go back again to this journal requester. So he will edit whatever the changes is there, again he will submit, again processor see, again then he will approve it. This is the flow. Okay. If the processor verifies and approves journal entry, it is nothing but what I said, posted, like whatever we did it. So it could be that posting action can be completed successfully. Sometimes what happens, it could be certain posting action fails, certain errors occur. In case the journal entry is giving certain failed status, requester has to re-edit that and submit it again. Okay, so very importantly note that when a journal entry is submitted for validation, it will be saved and its final document number is assigned to it. Okay, but this journal entry has to have some specific status like submitted, part, whatever it might be. Okay, along with the journal entry is being validated. So to keep its status, either submitted, path, active or not. So it will not update the account balances and it will be reported separately from the standard journal entries, which can be misleading sometimes. So this is why any of the period closing tasks consists in checking that all journal entries submitted for validation that have to be processed before closing the your accounting periods. And no journal entry with that status remains in SAP S/4HANA. Okay, so this is one thing you have to keep in the mind. So let me show you how you do this general journal verification. Go back to home. So there is a tile for us. Verify. This one. See, verify general journal entries for requester in apps. Verify general journal entries, general ledger in for processor outbox or processor inbox. Means I told you right, for processor he will get certain inbox wherein which he'll see this invoice or general ledger entries that he got certain submission request. So he can see in this inbox. Let me show you that one. Okay. So we have not submitted anything in this, right? So you can see the statuses here. But yes, because nothing is there in that, so it can't show. Let me try to show you this one on the posting. Let's check that. Verify. For requester. Okay, let's go to this one. For verification, see, we have our separate tiles are there. Verify general journal entries for requester, for processor inbox, outbox, and manage teams and responsibilities in your general ledger also. So these are the different things in the verification are there. I'm going for this one. Okay. Oh, this is deprecated, so don't use this. There's another one for this one. Let me take this one. Same thing. You can see the same thing here. So the information will be fresh here. So just go here. The company code you can write 1710, which I just taken now. The physical period, just leave it physical period. Whatever the value it will take, it will take. Take the posting date as today. Okay, go. Give the physical year equal to 2024. Say okay. Okay, because these are all not mandatory for us. Journal entry values we can give here. Let me add 2023 also. There any data, I'll just check this here. Okay, so I have not submitted anything else. I'm just verification of this.
Once that approval matrix is set up in S4HANA, then only you can get that inbox and outbox concept.
Right. Yes, you're right. But I just want to show you, at least in verification, if any journal entries are able to get it here. The approval flow is already there. If you can see here, the approval flow is already there. The verification requester side is there. You can request through here. And then whom you want to give, you can give, and we can show certain, at least in the verification journal entries, what are the verifications. I just want to show you. Just give me a moment. I'm just trying the right journal entries here.
I mean, you are not able to see in the verify general journal entry.
Yeah. Just want to show if any, see, when we do these things, right, I just want to show the moment when you go to this, even this posted, right, I just want to show on the journal entry date for certain company code, there will be this header and these things will be there. So I just want to pick it and show you on verification part.
Just select in status bar, you can select the posted document. In status is there, no? Before the submit.
Posted.
Yeah.
It's not
select company code and then give.
No, this is not coming. This is what I'm saying. This can be, like to your new entry work list flow only. I have to check that flow first of all, because the moment when you are trying to verify, so the general entries processor will automatically link it in this. Actually, at least for this demo scenarios, it will show for the inbox level, even though its approver is someone else in this case. I just want to show you that how this works to you. Let me try that, little later, and then I'll show you this one, because this approval flow might have some issues internally. I'll check that in the meanwhile when you're doing some exercise on thing. Then I'll show you this one. Okay, because in this only certain
notification icon is there. Can you please click that bell icon?
Which one here?
Yeah.
This is different one. This is for different one.
Because
not
usually once the entry, the approval will get this
notification
in this.
Right, and you will get this in the home page also. Home page are the notifications are there in which you can see if you are an approver, you'll get someone has given you this one also. I just want to show you that, guys. That is the reason I'm trying to post here. But yes, no problem. I'll try to post it and I'll show you. Not an issue. So let's not put that into. So like this. So this is how generally we go for the verification. So as a requester with the verify journal entries, whatever I show from the requester app, you can submit multiple journal entries for verification, not a one, single or multiple, it depends upon you, so that you can view the status of journal entries, with different statuses. The moment you have edit, you can edit a rejected journal entry also, and you can see submit for verification. We can copy an existing journal entry, you can withdraw it, you can receive notifications. I just show you right here. Not only here in the main home page, also you can get some notifications. Like that, you can receive an email notification if you're not frequent enough to see your SAP S/4HANA. Also, there is an optional feature for that, for journal entry status when it is changed. You can see that one also. So like this, there are multiple options are there. So as a processor, other than verify, other than your submitter, so if you are a processor who is authorized to verify journal entries in the verify general entries general ledger app for inbox outbox, you can view journal entries that are assigned to you, and the waiting for approval will be there, like different journal entries that you want to have. I'll show you that scenario so you'll understand more clearly with the data. So you can choose to approve, reject everything, whatever you want. So let me set that flow, and then I'll show you that. Okay. So this is how we generally know about this different journal entries holding and verification statuses. Okay. So coming to the account clearings. So there are certain principles when we go for the account clearing also.
Journal entry, even posting general entry as well as verified general entry, we have a column called ledger group.
Wait,
so
one second.
Let me elaborate that. Yeah.
Sure, definitely. Where it is?
Header for header option. So what are the type of ledger group? How it will work? How it is help for the reporting level and all? We just want to know.
Where can you just tell me? And what are you asking for? Ledger group?
Below to the transaction currency. Yeah, ledger group.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me, what is your doubt? You want me to explain more on this?
Yes. As a part of this header text, how we are, while passing that entry, which ledger group we need to select, what is that ledger group means, where it will be posted at the time of taking any reporting level, whatever it is.
Sure. So see here, those who are here, I'm just explaining to you guys that, the ledger groups, you are seeing only 4 groups here. These are the by default groups whenever you see also. This is a combination of different ledgers. You can see ledger commitment prediction 0E, ledger 0L, 2L, 3L, right? So these are all standard ledger groups. Generally, what is a ledger group means? A multiple combination of ledgers for any basic purpose you want to apply for the functions and processes for different general ledger accounting groups. As a like one single umbrella, you want to provide something on that, then you will go with this ledger groups. So here, whether you call what I mean to say, to want to store, whenever in simple layman terms, when you want to store different accounting documents, what you need, the ledgers you need. Okay. So this ledger role basically to provide certain account alignment with your business transactions, right? So there are different versions that are there, as you're seeing here in the ledger groups. These groups, other than ledger, these groups can be used to classify your accounting to their function. Okay. To specifically track certain functions. Either say, like on a, for example, 0L contain, a specific financial sector or banking sector, or 2L contain your single account transactions, or 3L contain mandatory accounts. Like, I'm just giving examples to you. So like this ledger groups will be available for you for different purposes on which you're trying to make it out. So the initial ledger group for all ledgers you will be defining in the same company code. So your balance of those accounts within these groups will be always on your balance sheet. Open items will be the common for that. So let me tell you that in SAP we have 2 types of ledgers are there. First of all, ledger is clear, right? It's nothing but your accounting document where you store it in your S4HANA. Okay. So what is the role of the general ledger? To provide certain business transaction alignment overview to you when you are using this particular SAP thing. So there are certain ledgers which are there. Other than this group, let me complete first of all what is the type of ledger, then I'll elaborate as you asked. So there are two different types of ledgers are there in S4HANA, especially on the finance part. One is your standard ledgers, which we call leading and non-leading ledgers in standard ledgers. So here what happens, in your leading and non-leading ledgers, you will be having different company codes are there, because we have to maintain a complete record of different financial transactions like credits and debits, okay, on daily basis in any business. So if we are dealing with that, so there should be a deviation in the dealing also. So that deviation is nothing but your leading ledger and non-leading ledger in your standard ledgers. So leading ledger means what? It is a very primary ledger where all your non-leading ledger values can also be derived. So that means documents that you have in your finance, for example, all documents you post in your leading ledgers, that will be flow to your non-leading ledger, but not the different way that it's going. It's going the same way it has to go. Okay. But in non-leading ledger, it will depends on leading ledger as a secondary ledger. There are some other parallel ledgers also there, wherein which it will have certain accounting principles where it will follow generally. Okay. Like your reporting standards, your GAAP ledgers, your local accounting, these are all comes under your non-leading ledgers. Okay. But whereas your IAS ledgers are there, so they all comes under leading ledgers. So this is a first category of your ledgers, which is standard ledgers. Okay. So, and then we have one more ledger type, which is called extension ledgers. So these extension ledgers are like, ledgers with standard that have certain extension functionalities in SAP FICO and controlling. So those can be used as extension ledgers. Let's say, suppose in layman terms, I have to say these will be used for CO reporting. These are the layers on top of your underlying ledger, which will prevent your duplicated ledger data. So these extension ledgers will help you like that. Okay. So these are your types of ledger. Now coming to grouping of your ledgers. Okay, so as you see here, there are different ledger groups are there. Okay, so these groups, whatever just we are seeing here, these are the SAP's standard recommended grouping. Okay, so when you want to understand about these ones, you have to know these different grouping also on the reporting ledgers part, because the grouping was actually done through a standard ledger assignment. If you can see here, this is one report ledger, this is another, this is another. Okay, so but this 0L ledger is there. This is mainly for your automatic creation, or whenever you want to enable certain joint processing functions, you will define this ledger group. Like this, as I said, for every function group, you can use this different ledgers. See, this is the reason. If you can see here, there is a ledger from group is there. So the initial standard one is given for your commitment prediction, the standard one. So rest all you can see, as I said, 0L for your automatic creations and all these things, and rest 2 are for different functionalities where you generally use for your physical different representative purposes that you generally use it. So these are the grouping strategies for your ledger groups.
For example, I'm creating a new GL. Okay. Is that GL should be linked with any of this GL grouping? I mean ledger grouping.
See here, it is not mandatory. It is not a mandatory. Earlier it is mandatory, but if you group the ledger, what happens means, like it will be easy for the general ledger document to collect it, to relate it or to correlate it, and which ledger group this ledger is belongs to. So it is not mandatory, but it is a good practice if you can actually link it. See guys, ledger groups, as I said, it's a combinational purpose. So as I said, whenever your accounting group has to function as a whole, then you have to bring these ledger groups. But yes, as you said, is it mandatory to whenever you create a post a journal entry, you have to make it or not? yes, it is a standard practice to do it because earlier it is a mandatory field, but in S4 public HANA Cloud, this has been removed as a standard field. So earlier you have to give it, now it is not mandatory for you to go and proceed on this particular thing.
No, yeah. So my understanding was different, but I mean, ledger group is nothing but two books that we maintain, one for stat and one for groups. Okay, but this was our understanding, and this is how we use it. Okay, so if there are different entries, so different entries to be posted only in group books or only in statutory books, we use the 0L and 2L. But what was explained was little different. So, anyways, I mean, we are using it and we are clear as to why this is being used. So I will keep that understanding itself.
Yeah, 0L, when you are going with 0L group, that is updating in all company codes, right? Which is assigned to all company codes. That's what, the group functionality is what he basically asked me. I'm just explaining that group functionality, right? We have 4 groups are there, as I said, 0L, 2L, 3L, right? And one is the default one is there. So your 2L by default for IFRS.
The basic use of ledger group is nothing but different set of books.
Right.
For example, yeah. So
right.
Yeah, but what you explained in the beginning was little different. So
what different? I'm not understanding. And because let the doubt be clear. Because as I said, ledgers you generally do for your transaction data and journal entries. What I told, and for that the grouping was happened. And 0L specifically, it's for all your standard ledgers, all for your leading ledger activities. You choose that, for all the automatic postings, or you make any postings for that, you go for the 0L, because SAP delivers
this is where I'm saying, see, all these explanation does not sync with our actual Kasar. You can also confirm. See,
okay. Tell me.
Automatic posting and all that, I'm not sure from where is this coming, but the difference between 0L and 2L is nothing but two different set of books. For one company code, we will have two different set of books.
0L,
forget about the posting type and all that.
Yes, 0L you can assign to all company codes generally, because it
even
applies
2L
to all
can be assigned to all company codes. Even 2L can be assigned to all company codes. So, see, in your explanation, nowhere you mentioned that it is two different set of books, or because that is the basic of the concept ledger group.
Yeah,
right.
Very simple thing difference is, for example, 0L is there. I'm asking 0L can use a non-leading ledger. You can't use it, right? Have you used it as a non-leading ledger? 0L is a standard ledger where you can use a leading ledger. But if you want to use a non-leading ledger, this 2L, 3L, you can use as a non-leading ledgers. You have to activate the non-leading ledger for these individual different company codes, whatever used for 2L, 3L, and you can have to further leverage them for your further journal activities. So that's what the basic grouping differences will be there. Okay. And as someone has asked that, if you want to make any manual postings that are different from your underlying ledgers, I said for those you can use your extension ledgers, because these are deriving from your underlying ledgers only. So all the postings you want to make the underlying ledger, if you want to make certain redundant data storage, without any certain things on that, then you go for extension ledgers, is what I said. Is it clear? I'm not saying anything out of the SAP scope, guys. I'm giving only SAP.
So what is the use of the ledger group? Now, going back to the question, what is the basic use of the ledger group? Why is the ledger group used at all in accounting?
Ledger group used in accounting means, by using this ledger group, you can basically restrict the individual postings to your what we say, the systems, in where they are maintaining in the ledger groups. Okay, in that group, the system, if you have any, you have to restrict any individual postings for different things. Then you can restrict that through your ledger group, because you can use a ledger, but why you have to use the ledger? That is where the difference comes from the ledger and ledger group, right? Your ledger, in particular, this group, whatever the ledger group I'm saying, they classify your accounting to their function. That's why, right? For example, if there is no group, you directly post everything on certain 1L or something, right? But there is a classification. Hey, this is a leading ledger, go with 0L. Hey, this is non-leading ledger, go to 2L, 3L. Hey, this is a something redundant is there, go for extension ledger. You're going certain grouping, right? This is where the difference comes. Whereas ledgers you use to track specific transactions, whereas groups you classify this transaction and post it. That is the difference.
So you are saying in one company code, we can have a mix of 0L and 2L, and finally when we take the trial balance, we'll get the consolidated trial balance. Is it? For leading ledgers, we use 2L, and for non-leading ledgers,
yeah, and not only that, another
that is not right.
1 second, and not only that, there is a difference, you know. For example, if you have multiple ledgers are there, where you will post it? For multiple ledgers, where you group, there are multiple ledgers are there. Okay, so in a different things groups are there. Where you'll post it, you have to use in the ledger groups only. But in ledgers, you can have only single account transactions. Okay, so this is the difference, because you asked me difference, I'm giving the difference to you.
Is it possible to take one consolidated trial balance for the 0L and 2L, whatever is posted in 0L? So few entries are posted in 0L, few entries are posted in 2L. Is it possible to take one consolidated trial balance?
What do you mean by that? I'm not understanding. Can you ask it?
Okay, but you have told for certain GLs need to be go with 0L, certain ledgers need to go with 2L, right? So Vinay, our concern is we are having a trial balance option. While taking the trial balance, can we take a ledger balance for 2L as well as 0L in a separate mode, or consolidately we can take it in trial balance?
I have to check it, because in we can consolidate, because the consolidation is possible in the trial balances, because as a consolidated trial balance, you are summing all debits and credits also, right? So you have a total of 0 will be there in all your different groups also. So because the net result can be there, which is equal to what you are just going to posting that. So whether what group you consider, so that will happen then. Yeah, that will happen.
So basically, for Strive current setup of ledgers, we have 2L and 0L. So basically, the 2L stands for the IFRS, which is the global currency. Okay.
Right.
And then for the 0L, it stands for the local currency. So we utilize those two currencies, 2L and 0L, for the purpose of recording those transactions per IFRS, which is the global currency. This global currency are the standards that or IFRS standards that we follow. No? And then for the local currency, individually, you have for India, right? India, we have this local GAAP of India, and other countries like Africa and what else? Mauritius. Okay, so those are two currencies that we are utilizing for this current S/4HANA public cloud. So basically, if there will be transactions, for example, just to explain, if there will be example and ledger is not being recognized, automatically those transactions will posted into L and 0L local currency. For the question of BNN, I guess it can be generated. Those trial balance for 0L and 2L as well. For our Stripe, I'm referring to the current setup of Stripe.
You have seen the posting strategies now. We have one more important thing called, the reporting strategies there, how to perform reporting. Okay. On the basis of, on the analysis and reporting, basically. As you have seen, when we have gone to this reporting strategies, when you go here, you check here, the home page. So here, so on the financial statement reporting here, on the reporting front, if you go to the reporting bucket here, for the apps on that. So generally reporting means it takes place a major role in the financial accounting department, right? End of the day, all the transactions you are recording through a given time period on different journals, general ledger, start of accounts or whatnot, in the reports, income balances, credits, debits, all different things will be there on that. So that will be conveniently analyzed, right? So what are the standard reports you expect to find by default in a system? So anyone generally comes to their things, this comes into your mind, okay? Like financial statements, it can be classified as most important, standard and mandatory, right? Because this is required by many external stakeholders like auditors, shareholders, or legal authorities and all these things. So in this case, the formatting of the report is also quite similar across different companies, because the balance sheet, the income statement, the cash flow statements, these are all major financial things that we pick up as part of the financial statements, right? So other reports are also there, mainly used for the internally with the company and can correspond to different recurring standard evaluations also, like custom one-time queries, you can say. For example, industrial companies, they can analyze in debit aging, or you can go for different buckets or make the long-term debts, or different analysis, with different day posting days and all these things. So SAP HANA has, like on the public code especially, they have this embedding reporting without any modifications, but majorly they can customize and adapt these customer needs, okay, depending on the possibility maximum to create the brand of new reports. You can actually tailor for different user requirements and customer requirements, okay? And almost all reporting requirements, the features of reporting, of drilling down ability, or original line item showcasing, balance reports, all these things will be quite common, because SAP S4 HANA, it has majorly two things. You have seen that balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement. Like if you can see here, these are the two important ones, which we will discuss further in the more chapters. It's only a basic reporting kind of thing. So if we can see balance, okay. So we have many in the balance sheets also. You have different things that are covering as part of that. So when you are displaying a financial statement, basically the accounting department will be very highly requiring that, because they have to prepare for the periodic closings will be there, or period end closings will be there. So you have to know these accounting balances that are coming on the like on the different segments of your company also, right? So this is one such thing which will be demanding for reporting and analysis purpose for any individual user that comes in our way. Okay. So those covers almost all different reporting functionalities also there in that. So let's say let me show you those individual things in item by item here. What are those things? A small report also can help you on that. But yes, what are the limited data that we have, I can try to show you here. But all, provided all these general entries and all these things are posted properly, right? So then this will be easy for to showcase. But whatever the limited data that we have, I'm trying to show you the concept here. This balance sheet is there. Okay, this is the balance sheet, income statement is there. Okay, these are two things are there. Multi-dimensional is there, and normal one is there. So if you go to the normal one, select the company code. So the statement versions will be there. Either you can select a cash flow statement or a financial statement for your thing, or a contribution margin statement. So the standard versions are there. So you can just select any one statement here. Okay. So the statements, again, it depends upon your basic criteria on which you want to see, and on which you want to make your display customer requirements on that. It will be generally normal statement type only, which is our cash flow or normal balance ones here. Okay. So once you are done with this, please simply go with this. As we have already posted certain data, seeing. So last week you don't have this data also. So now if you go to the adapt filters, so in this we have a thing called segment. So in this segment only you have to, you'll get this balance sheet and all these things. You go to the segment, you will see the segment here. The segment will be segment A, segment B, segment C. These will be things will be there on which you generally see all your different criteria will be there on the segment. See, once a segment is segment, you got balance sheet, your profit loss, your unassigned accounts, all these things came. Okay, because segment is one such thing which it will categorize your accounts further, and further you can just see your data on top of that. Okay. On these accounts also at related apps, certain analysis if you want to do, you can do the analysis on this reporting. Okay, like if you can see here, these are all your report filters. So these are all, whatever you are seeing, these are all called your report filters. Okay. So from where you generally pick these filters, right? Whatever you want, whatever you don't want, because mandatory ones are common. So other than mandatories, whatever you pick, like account displays, your functional areas, your profit centers, your year-end postings, these are the things which are given by SAP, which are up to your filtering criteria on which you can actually add and execute that. Okay. And this is all your display layouts, and this is all your report layout. This is your customizing layout for that. Okay. So this is your basic reporting balance income sheet structure. So here the adopt filters, basically whatever I have shown to you. So with this, as I said, you can include basically the zero balance accounts whenever you want to see the zero balance accounts, or if you want to switch between the standard and alternative accounts also, you can use these adopt filters. Basically, the displayed columns can be modified using your personalizing button from the adopt filters only. So you can use that. So whenever the report execute like this, you can see the GL account balances, like clearings and debits and postings, all these things. Okay. And you can display the line items for the general ledgers also. For example, if you go here, see, they can click this item, you can display the line items in general ledger, you can display GL balances also. Okay. So with this, you can determine the balance sheet income statement. This app, basically this app, what I'm saying, this app will help you to use to generate your balance sheet of segment at segment level, like this, with balance sheet, profit loss, everything. So this balance sheet profit loss can be more filled with assets, liabilities, and all these things. The moment when you are making cash transactions, bank transactions, and all these things, then you can see that, because I'm using just a simple clearing accounts, right? So it is not going to any category of those assets, liabilities, or something. But then as per the criteria, I have to give introduction as part in outlining the report record. I'm just giving, that's the reason I said this is an outline only. I'm not deep diving here now. This is an outline, that's it.
So you
So
will,
this is
you will.
Yeah, I will cover.
Help us
I will
understand
cover
how
more.
to map it.
I'll cover deep when I'm talking about financial things. This is only a just outline. That's it. That's part of outlining scope. Okay, guys. So this is about your balance sheet income statement, guys. So in accordance with, we have one more thing is also there. As I said, offer is a multi-dimensional account analysis. When you have already worked with business intelligence tools, like pivot tables.
So give us just one thing. So when you, just one query here. So when you're going to explain this balance sheet, income statement, and everything, will you have any sample data for us for you to present?
The moment when you're covering receivables, payables, all these accounts, cash transactions, I'll cover one by one. All the data will be there, when we're starting doing that. So with the data.
But why don't you have it now, and why can't you have it now?
This is, let me tell, I told you this is a very fresh system. There is no data in it. Even that also I created for the purpose.
Who's going to
No, we have to go by, the sessions and sessions, you'll add data in it. On one single day, I can't dump the data into it, or there is no such files that I can actually load it and show it to you. That's how these demo systems will.
So you will be adding data as the session progresses.
Exactly.
In the backend.
Exactly. And then finally,
because
that is the reason.
A lot of things, if you see, lot of things were not, said properly, or like the approval matrix and all that. So the topics are incomplete because we're not getting a full picture of whatever is being explained without data and without you demonstrating on how to set the approval matrix and things like that.
See, approval matrix, I don't need to say. I just want to demonstrate you on that with the available data. So I demonstrated that, even approval matrix also, I should have permissions from the SAP's main space. I don't have it. That's what I'll tell you. Being a user, okay, I can show you how you can set it up and make it out. In the any session, I'll do it. But here, SAP's permission authentications are not there. So that's the reason I have shown to you. And someone has told you there already postings are there. That's not, it's not like that. We can show that in the approval matrix also. I have done it in the earlier sessions also. But here what happened is the authentications has been not provided. So there is no availability for me to catch the data into this session for whatever I want to predict. Even for the posted entries also, I have showed you there is no data yet, but I posted that, I showed you, and I am showing you remaining concepts also on that. Before I can understand your questions, guys. If you can see, system is in front of you. I am taking all that one. You are seeing the things on that. I have loaded certain data with my, after doing all the analysis, whichever is available with this SAP's data thing. SAP said, whenever the dummy data, let me show you that one. We are saying the data thing, right?
Yeah.
When you log on to here in the configuration of central business configuration, let me show you that. See here, if SAP has dumped your demo data, it will be yes. In the configuration, it is saying yes. This is the demo data, yes. So demo data means whatever you are seeing, certain journal entries and all this is the demo data, which means on the configuration level, whatever this demo training patch will have, only those can be done. Even in the configuration also I have shown to you. So there are no activations in that other than one single chart of account, which SAP told they'll allow one only. But I have requested that I have to show to the participants on the general ledger creations and all these things. So they said, okay, raise a ticket. We will allow you to create certain other chart of accounts and all these things. See, this is all. So if I can't do that, I cannot show you that flow. That's the reason whatever existing is there, I'm just showing you those things only. So even cost center also, I have worked for you, and then I have worked for the creation of cost centers. So I'm just giving you the outlining of here now on that thing. So on the multi-dimensional analysis, the multi-dimensional reports allows a different set of interactions depending on the roles assigned to the user. So on the balance sheet, income statements app that you generate, so the multi-dimensional reports, it basically allows you to filter initially at header level, and then you can analyze it. If you go to the multi-dimensional reporting also in the balance sheet, I think we're going to go there and see that the recently used ones. So this is a multi-dimensional thing. So you can see here, there are different dimensions for analysis also. So when we are working with data, I'll show you. This is just an introduction for that, how this tool works. You know that, at least you said, that something is there. Yes, please know that multi-dimensional balance sheet income statement is there. So it generates a type of multi-dimensional report. What it does, it allows you to filter at header level the data that needs to be analyzed, like this, at what company code, what hierarchy, what periods, this is different items. You can actually take it as part of your analysis, and based on that you can actually make the data analysis in a regular tabular mode or graphical mode also. Okay, and we have query information and downloads further. You can understand when I start adding data into it. So there is a possibility to export this data to XLS or PDF formats also. And because certain reporting needs of global companies demand more sophisticated types of reportings are applying there, so it has this multi-dimensional analysis has been brought by SAP for doing such type of ad hoc reporting kind of, or ad hoc analysis type of things in this criteria. Okay, but when we add the data, I'll show you these things clearly. So this is about your multi-dimensional accounting analysis introduction. Okay, so coming to the next one, postings of your accounting for external accounting. So when we are exploring these parallel accounting for external accounting concepts, basically when we go for this, what is the parallel accounting first of all? So for example, some X is working in general ledger, some person is working in some general ledger. Okay, so he needs to understand, right, what is the different things that he required for period and closing preparations. So company generally will be required to report under multiple accounting principles, like using your general ledger approach or general ledger approach for your parallel accountings. Okay. So whenever the companies are required to produce financial statements for their major lines of business, they use these parallel accounting reports to evaluate the financial health. Okay. Let's say the type of cost required, the products that you use, the productivity of it, the producing the products, what they understand, what are the functional areas, how much spending money they're happening in the company. So these are all the different things they get it as part of the parallel accounting. So general accounting procedures have basic experience with general ledger, master data, and documents. So you have to understand the outlining these financial reporting strategies also. Okay. So in using parallel accounting, SAP decided to utilize 3 general ledgers. That's what I said. I'll come to the topic little later. This is what I'm said. So on the ledger groups, basically there are 3 ledgers that comply with the reporting requirements in any scenario in this particular thing. You can go to here. If you can see here, I'm talking about the parallel ledgers right now. Okay. So this is the accounting principle overview on which we generally see these different ledgers. Okay. As I said earlier, the leading ledger, the ledger group, and the international reporting standards, which we call IFRS, right? So these are the 3 ledger groups in any scenario as part of you generally take into consideration. So this 0L, this is the main ledger, leading ledger we call this, the main accounting principle for a company must report, because this system is limiting with 1 leading ledger. So when we're using this parallel accounting, generally system or SAP decided to use these individual ledgers, because why they have used these individual ledgers? They have to comply with the standard reporting requirements in any financial scenario across the world who are using the S/4HANA public cloud, okay, on SAP Finance. So for that, these 3 individual groups has been categorized. Okay, so 0L leading ledger, which is a default accounting principle any company must report. Okay. And here each ledger is assigned to a ledger group. In 0L, whatever you use, it will be there. Okay. And this accounting principle is under what? It's IFRS review, means ledger group is assigned to account principle. Okay. Based on international reporting standards. So this accounting principle IFRS overview, it provides all your comprehensive understanding on the different reporting on the global reporting standards. Like means globally recognizing set of accounting principles are there by SAP. So this IFRS use that to regulate your financial statements and business organization process across the globe. Okay, so this is your basic accounting principle to review. Okay, so on other than that, if you go to this 0L into more, let me extend this one to more. So if you can see here, in the 0L leading ledger, each SAP system has exactly 1 ledger. This ledger is for main reporting for the company. What it said, this is what it actually told to us, right? So which means that this ledger group and its standard, these 3 are attached in 1 single group item. Like for example, when I'm referring this ledger group, it has these 2. It's a leading ledger and it has abided this international financial standards also. That means here each ledger is assigned to ledger group, and a ledger group in this item is item that is designated when a posting created. The leading ledger 0L, it emphasizes an what I can say, a high level exploration for your SAP's bookkeeping entity or its different functionalities or configurations for whatever that you do towards the financial accounting. All that can be done through this 0L. Okay, that is your first single group 0L. Okay, and we have one more group which is called 2L. This 2L is, like as I said, this is a non-leading ledger, right? So whenever you want to provide a higher view of a detailed analysis, for any supplementary ledgers in your SAP system. So this 2L, which we call a non-leading ledger, can be utilized, okay, to get the detailed analysis for the supplementary ledgers in your SAP system. So it mainly focuses on what? It focuses on your operation, on your management, or on your parallel accounting data for the companies. This non-leading ledgers will help you on that. So coming to the another one, which is TX, which you have seen that there also. So this TX is nothing but your more of your a ledger role as a non-leading ledger in SAP system. And when some ledger has to act as a non-leading ledger, you have to take this TX. Okay, so this TX will be more on like taxing, especially for the local tax ledgers, which we generally use that. And majorly it functions for the configurations and processes of maintaining different tax-based parallel accountings, because all international companies, they have to prepare a financial statement based on different accounting principles, because they won't abandon one single principle. So that leads to a basic of why that is required to file financial statement with different accounting principles, right? So that is how we go to this parallel ledgers, different valuation areas, secondary processes, identifying the secondary process for parallel ledgers, and we make ledger specific postings. Someone asked me right last week, can I use ledger group? I said yes. That ledger group posting we use here for the parallel accounting. So ledger specific financial statements also will brought into the thing. So we'll prepare the things for that, and finally we verify those journal entries also as part of all this thing. So these are the different groups, how they can be utilized. Now let me show you how you can use these parallel ledgers. So generally, when you are using the parallel ledger, companies can set parallel valuation, right, in different accounting principles. So typically a local company belong to a group needs to follow local and group accounting principles also. So yeah, it needs to follow your local and group accounting principles also, wherein which the parallel ledgers are used to multiple ledgers with an accounting principle applied to each ledger. Okay, so this means what? This means that all postings with no valuation differences, okay, can be posted to the leading and non-leading ledgers. Okay, parallel ledgers means multiple ledgers with an accounting principle applied to each ledger, or postings with no valuation differences are posted to leading and non-leading ledgers. These are the parallel ledgers. Or sometimes what happens, posting with no specific ledger also there, or ledger group, there also can be updated in your ledgers. Okay, so these are the criteria for the parallel ledgers. Okay, so let's see how this works in the system, the parallel ledgers. To post a GL account document, we'll use the same one, which is the same Fiori app, the post journal entries. So let me take this into it, and you can see that. So here, when we go to this one, post journal entries, this app. Okay, as we have already seen, using this app, we can post this particular parallel things also. So the moment you can see there is a we have seen this different things on that. So let's enter the data. From morning we are doing the same thing on that. So from the document header, we'll give the journal entry date, and we'll try to make the things on top of that. Okay. So I'm entering the today's date only here. Okay, so I'm taking the same company code, which is the default company code for that. Okay, and the posting date also, I'm taking the same one for today. Okay, I'm not taking a different date, because let's delete for today's date. I'm just handling for that. But this one, let me check the company code whether they want to change or not. Is it having some additional data or not? I don't know. 1710 is the standard company code. So I'm not deviating that. I'm just going with the euros on here. Dollars, I'll keep it here, not as required. This one I can keep it. Or else someone has asked the euros also. Let me try with euros this time. Okay, instead of this one. Okay, And let's make the ledger group. You can see the ledger group here. We have the different company codes and accounts are there here. Okay. So for the data specific without any errors, I'm trying with the last ones only, which was, because here we generally have different financial transactions will be there. Let me try a different financial transaction also for you. Let me check with different number. 615 series, I'll try. So let's take this one. Okay. And put some number. I'm taking the sales transaction. Okay. Debit field will enter certain amount there. Okay. It's making this one as 100. Okay. So debit amount I entered 100. So this is my first thing which I'm just using this here. And then let's not use the second one here. We need only debit posting here. So let me put into it. Go down. You can see different items are there, right? So cost center, I have created yesterday 2-3 cost centers. So let me take this as test cost center, which can be there for this scenario. Enter. Taken this test cost center. So profit center is automatically there for the purpose of internal control. Okay, let's our profit center segment, everything was added there automatically. Okay, segment is nothing but your sub area for your revenues. Okay, whatever is there for your expense and revenue, segment will there. It's an operating result for your regular management for all these things. And profit center I have told you already. Once you are done with this, because this 100 A is already by default, I have chosen when this thing. If you want to change the segments, you can create a new cost center also. So cost center creation, I'll show you after this how to do that. And there is a functional area which is already allocated for that. Generally, this is not allocated. You have to give the functional area also. So this is YB30 has been by default has been selected. If you want to change, you can change that one. But this cost center is what already predefined with my cost center specification. So I have gone with that. So this one, and this is asking tax code. See, this is not mandatory field, but let's see after all, if it is giving error, I'll see that time. But now it's not required for this. Let's give another GL account number here, which is 11001 000 something. This is the standard one. I'm trying this one, which is a main bank account. Now this is blocked for posting. Okay. So there is an error here. As I said earlier, this house bank account is not there for this. If you go down also, you can see that the house banks are not there. We have to define new house banks in the configuration. So hence I have not selected those ones in the morning. So let me check another GL account for this. Okay, so credit posting of 100. Just keep it like that. So here to give some tax code. Okay, tax jurisdiction. See, it's asking for cost accounting. Let's push this to some other cost center. Okay, now once we are done with this, let's close this. This is no errors, I think so. Everything is cleared, but still there are some messages. Jurisdiction code. Okay. Check the text code for that. I1. This is what when used, because there are no proper tax codes for this. This is not engaging for us to do that. So these entries have to maintain in the configuration tab also. So this is how you have to maintain parallel edges. Let me give the old data that I have given in the morning. This parallel edges. You can simulate here for any changes or any errors here in the simulation state. You can just provide that. So here in the parallel ledger concept, what happens, the moment when you go with this, don't give any posting here. So in the banking transactions also, when you go here, we generally take this company codes and different profit centers, right? So from there, our ledgers will be different company codes for different profit centers can also be posted. So with that, our different parallel ledgers can be at a time can be posted. So which means that the parallel valuation process will be performed at a period end on that. So there is a secondary process other than this, which I have shown you here now, which is called parallel ledger support. When configuring the parallel valuation, the different accounting principles are defined and subsequently those can be identified and processed on that. Okay. So for that, when you go to the manage journal entries, so in this manage journal entries views, the journal entry number allows you to basically identify the post of that. Okay. So in this case, our number is this one, and this header number, when you go to here, you go to any one single journal entry here, if you have posted from the morning. So here, when you post anything, right, in the entry view, you have these ones, the document flow, the display change log, and all these things. So in the verify journal entries view, you can see this. So verify the journal entries here. You do down, there is an entry view here, guys. So this view generally, if you are this particular ledger group is been attached to here, that will show you generally, like 0, L, L1, L2. I told you, right, someone asked me the balance, all these things. If you do a bank transactions or a thing, in the normal the ledger view, you have another entry view. In this entry view, generally this shows 0, L, 2L, 3X, whatever the ledger groups on which you have posted the ledger, right? That it will show you from here. Because I have not attached any ledger view, ledger group there, it's not showing. So let me try to post the same ledger and let me show you that here. How this can be shown. If we go to the same app here now, that's how we generally link these groups. Let me show you that one. The moment when you go with the same date, there's a group here. Seven one triple zero. Okay. So if you go to manage this one, refresh this page. You will get all this information that is posted for that particular journal here. I try to get that ledger group here. One second. The line items. So this parallel ledgers, just I shown to you, like on the ledger specific posting also, this will be activated the moment when you select this group and you just post that ledgers. So that will be attached to it, like it's, as I said, it's a combination of your standard ledgers, right? So basically it allows you to process the general ledger accounting with that group parameters. Means the posting of your journal entries, it provides to record your specific ledger groups that you are posting along with your journal entry date and the relevant company codes for that. So these can be created for each ledger. That means when you take the financial, the last step is what, when we go with the financial statement, it can be created for each ledger, whatever this we are seeing right now. So when executing, whenever we are executing the balance sheet or income statement application, we can whenever we choose that financial statement version and ledger to display, there you can see this different ledgers that you have been grouped under ledger groups can be showed to the, displayed at the financial report in the final end. Okay, but yes, so this is because of the clearing code is not getting related. Let me check on that. Show you these ledger groups from the banking transactions also. I'll try to add them further, and I'll show you how these ledger groups can be leveraged on your balance sheets and income statements also. Okay, so this is what about our ledger specific balance sheets and all these things. And regarding the stationary compliances, right? So as I told you morning, let me show that parameters to you. When you go to the manage document and reporting compliance, so whatever the reports that you want to maintain for the region, right, you have to select those ones. For example, this is our country or region. Let's say I'm selecting the USA right now. Okay, so you will select the reports, whatever you have generated till, because there is no reports I have defined for this. So at this moment, when I'm discussing on the financial statements and balance sheets, right, then this make more sense, because we might we might create some reports on that, because with the dummy data there is no reports. So but usually we select this report name, whatever the report that we want to manage reporting compliance on that. So on that you will add all the compliance on the report. Means how can you add communication status for that, what are the report deadlines, who can actually watch the report, what is the report due dates, how much of actions that you can actually take care, who will be the action taker, who will be action submitter, all these things you can add. That there are many filters on that, where you can actually evaluate these reporting things on which you can actually do this reporting compliance. Whenever we manage this document and reporting compliance, basically we have to understand one thing, our financial documents like what we call the compliance tool that internally S4 HANA is actually building for us. That particular reporting compliance, which enables as a user to create the process and monitor your electronic documents as more with the statutory compliances, is what SAP assured on this particular thing. So in this, the basic thing you have to understand is you have electronic documents, you prepare it for data preparation and submission, you reconcile it, and you submit for statutory reporting. So these are the major things which you generally take care of as part of this compliance. And the document and reporting level, you have many things are there now, because we are not seeing the reports, you're not seeing, but the moment you give the report names, everything, you will see a lot of graph type of content will be also there, where you can see certain region-wise reports and their standards. For example, in US region, 5-10 reports are there, in which 3 are on due date, 4 are not executed, or 2 are executed. You will see some colors with green vibrantly and some of with yellow and red, and all these things, which are unsuccessful, unsuccessful, which means that there will be certain automated integration of business partners, whatever the completed reportings are there and their statuses, you can actually see in this thing. Okay, with this, what is the major feature that you are getting from this particular managed document reporting compliance is, you can streamline your operations with decision capabilities, what you can take from this, and you can comply global data markets with statutory reporting that you're making on top of this app, and you can boost your standardizations and automations also by using this particular app. So that is what the moment when you get your report names and document company codes, all these things, right? So with relevant company codes, what you want to process, then these reports will start, making function you well. Okay. There are many other filters also there. The moment when you generate the balance sheets and all these things, I'll come and show you these things also. Okay. Let me go into this one. Okay. This is called run stationary reports for pending report definitions, all these things there. If you want to define a stationary report, you can go and you can define your stationary report here. If you click on this app, so you have to give your report definition. Like, say, what is your report definition? Let's say you are preparing for, let me take, let's say you're taking customer overdue invoices report, let's say in France. Okay. So this was last changed by also whenever you create a statutory report on top of any standard defining report definition, if it is any last change happened, you can see the last change by whom it was being done. So based on that, you can actually do the parameters. You can provide the country, region, all these things also. Let's say it's based off France. So I'm making this France here. The report category ID will be there. So what is the category ID of this report? You have to provide that report category ID. Let's say I'm just giving it's a test report. Okay, and report activity ID. Let me say it is a most of test, right? So data replication. And then configuration of parameter IDs will be there, certain IDs which we have generated. These are all generated at the versions levels. Just for your knowledge, I'm just giving you this one, and simply go ahead. Might be there will be no data. Generally, the moment when you define the statutory report, right? So your definition will be created. So you will then further go to your activity categories and configuration parameters, where you'll configure the stationary what do we call stationary reporting conditions, basically, for your report that you generally do it on the public cloud. Because when you are on the public cloud, you have to add lot of stationary complaints also, because it will be localized for your business with all the country and specific region, which will be designing the laws abided to that country, and you have to make the business practice for that region. So that is the region. The moment when you select the region here, right, the stationary settings will check for that region settings, and based on that, your legal compliance and report taxations and legal compliance on the things will be provided to you in the settings. Because why we have to go for this is nothing but in business cases, when we are generating the statutory reportings, as I said, it's more of the localization. You have to meet the global compliance, so that you can create, generate, and submit a report that is accepted by the local government, and it is in the right format. Okay, though it is a private governed bodies are there, but you have to abide the local government laws are there. So in the interest of that, SAP brought this stationary reporting also with the different localization compliances with different countries, and that helps us here while defining your reports and categories on that. Okay, as part of SAP S4HANA Public Cloud 2024-02, whatever is there, there are many replacements happen, because we have advanced compliance reporting in 2022 is also there, because there are other things are also there, but those are all replaced with this statutory reports. It is a universal compliance reporting solution which can create these reports, so that it helps you to stay compliant with all the complex legal requirements. Okay, so when we are ready with our reports, right, we can actually go through these statutory reports and legal reports also. Then we can understand more on that. This is just a introduction level, wherein which you can see what is a basic thing about your statutory reporting in specific to region on that.